I laced up my hiking boots, slung my backpack over my shoulder, and set off into the dense forest. The sunlight filtering through the canopy above cast dappled shadows on the forest floor, and the scent of pine filled my lungs. I felt alive, free from the constraints of civilization. As the day wore on, the trees grew taller, and the underbrush thicker. I pushed through the dense foliage, my senses heightened. Every snap of a twig or chirp of a bird made me jump. I began to feel like I was being watched, but whenever I turned to look, there was nothing. I set up camp as the sun began to set, the fire crackling to life as I added kindling to the flames. The warmth and light were comforting, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being stalked. I glanced around the clearing, but the trees seemed to loom over me, their branches like skeletal fingers. The first night was uneventful, the only sounds the crackling of the fire and the distant hooting of owls. But as I drifted off to sleep, I could have sworn I heard the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs, and the soft padding of footsteps just beyond the ring of light. The second night was different. The sounds were louder, closer. I sat up, my heart racing, as the footsteps seemed to circle the campsite. I tried to tell myself it was just a stray animal, but the pattern was too deliberate, too calculated. I tried to leave the campsite, to hike back to civilization, but the forest seemed to shift and twist around me. Every path I took led me back to the same clearing, the same campsite. I was trapped, and the entity was closing in. The third night was the worst. The sounds were right outside the campsite, the footsteps heavy and deliberate. I saw a shadowy figure looming just beyond the firelight, its presence making the air feel thick and heavy. I tried to flee, but my legs were frozen in fear. The figure began to move closer, its presence suffocating. I felt my heart pounding in my chest, my breath coming in short gasps. The figure loomed over me, its face twisted into a grotesque grimace. And then, everything went black. I came to, lying on the forest floor, the campsite abandoned and cold. The figure was gone, but I knew I'd never be the same. The entity had left its mark on me, a constant reminder of the terror that lurked in those woods.